Hello, welcome to my presentation on COVID-19 and some of the questions that are being presented. First question is which states have had the most COVID-19 positive cases? And on the flip side, um, were these states ones that enforce strict rules, or did they start to ease their regulation or their restrictions and regulations early? Um, in addition, how many positive cases did they have if they eased regulations or if they kept those tight regulations? And how were deaths affected as uh, COVID continued to rage on? But I think we need to look at the world first. Um, as you can see, the world has had this is this data is as of August 1st, had over 13 million cases and over 500,000 deaths. I chose August 1st because I know they're compiling new data daily, but it kind of gives us a look at a full complete month of July. Let's see. Brazil kind of leading the way. Uh, not good. And this data is without the United States. So if you add the United States, there's a lot more cases than that. So one of the questions is which states have the most cases? As we can see from here, California, Florida, Texas, New York, New Jersey, and Arizona are six of the states that I'm going to be kind of touching on, because New York, New Jersey, and California were thought to have pretty strict requirements, whereas Texas, Florida, and Arizona eased up or didn't even put some of those restrictions in place to begin with. So here is the United States through the months. So January, we didn't have any recorded cases. February was our first ones. March, they started going up a little bit. April, they really started to increase. And then May 1st is when like Texas, Florida, Arizona started lifting their restrictions, encouraging people to come to them. And they kept doing that through June and then July. And in July, cases went off the charts. So here's New York. As you can see, this is for their positive amount of cases. And in New York, we see that there are, they were the epicenter in May. And there is about 20 million residents in New York, and they've had just over 190,000 positive cases as of August 1st. So that means that their infection rate's about 0.98%, so less than 1%, which is, good, I guess, comparatively speaking. So then, they also, this could also be a thing because they started issuing lockdowns early in March. So then we're going to move on to New Jersey. They don't have quite as many cases, but they don't have quite as many people. They're the fifth leading American state, though. They have 184,225 positive cases, and their population is just under 9 million. So that means that they have an infection rate of about 2.1%. They've kind of steadily rose. They didn't see the rise that New York saw in July. And then we go to California. So they really, really saw a ton and a big increase in July. And this could be, California is a popular vacation spot for a lot of people. They've got 40 million people in the state of California, and they've had, as of August 1st, 515,000, almost 516,000 positive cases, which is about 1.3% of its residents. So these are three cases. These are New Jersey, New York, and California are three states that, elected not to risk it, so to speak. Now, Texas, they had things kind of under control, so they started to open up, and as you can see, they had a huge jump in July. So they've had over 450,000 positive cases. Their population is about 29 million, but this is only about a 1.56% infection rate. So, it's not too different. I mean, it's actually less than like New Jersey, so per se. And then you got Florida, and they absolutely skyrocketed in July. And, Governor DeSantis was encouraging people to travel to Florida. They've got 487,000 infections and 21.48 million residents. So they had 2.27%, which is the highest of the states that we've talked about so far. Make it that what you will. Arizona, again, they're another state who absolutely skyrocketed. They've got about 7.28 million, and they've had over 178,000 positive cases, and that's an infection rate of 2.45%, which is, out of our 6 states that we're talking about, that's the highest. So we've kind of got some conclusions here, and that basically, if a state opened their borders, cases started to go up, but cases were increasing in the summer months in all the states. So here we've got New York's death rate. As you can see, it's continued to increase, but they've had a very high death rate. They've had 9,389 infected people die. That's almost 5% of their COVID cases, but this is also could be due to the fact that Governor Cuomo put infected elderly patients in nursing homes, which, this disease infects and harms elderly people at a higher rate. And he did this early on. New Jersey, another state that's really, really seen their deaths increase, and they've had an 8.6% death rate because they've had almost 16,000 deaths. And then California, they've had 9,399 deaths, but about 1.82% have passed from that. So they're doing the best out of those 3 states. Texas also has had seen more deaths in July, but they've only had 4,644 deaths, and their death rate, that means it's about 1%. Florida, 7,000 deaths, 1.45%. And then you've got Arizona, and they have had about 3,769, which is about 2% of their total. And I think that as a whole, the death rate was lower in states that opened their borders, but this could be from a variety of reasons. Testing could be greater in those states, so you get more samples of people with COVID, but that shows it maybe not to be as deadly because originally people who were getting tested were the ones who were really, really sick. But as time goes on, hopefully we'll be able to analyze more trends using things such as Tableau.